Hi, welcome to Busy Bees U. I am going to work on the next step in the board art process, which is applying your paint to your board on top of your stencil. Your stencil, your staining, any dry brushing, and your stencil work is already done. The next step is to apply some glue, adhesive, sealant, whatever you want to call it. There'll be a little bit in a container and it will be marked with sealant. You want to use your brush that you've used in previous steps that has now been cleaned out. Don't have to wear gloves for this step. This step is not quite as messy, but I would still recommend an apron or an old t-shirt. So you want to dip in this glue and you just want to brush it over all the openings. You want it spread thin, but you don't want it spread too thin, if that kind of makes sense. And you don't want it too thick either, okay? You want to make sure your stencil was pushed down pretty tightly. I like to go over all my openings so it has the same consistency. If it gets on the edge of your board, just wipe it off. This does dry clear, so it's not that big of a deal. Okay. Once you get it done, that's about the consistency you want it to look like. Not too thick, not too thin. At this point, you can wash your brush. You don't have to. It's entirely up to you. You do need to let this sit and dry for a couple minutes. If you notice some hairs from your brush, you want to pick that hair out immediately with a pin or a pair of tweezers. Otherwise, it dries hardened and you'll actually see that on your finished project. If at any point in this process, any of these steps that you have questions, you can either go back and review the video or you can email us or try calling us. We are in and out of the studio with this craziness right now, so we will certainly return calls or answer emails or message us on Facebook and we'll get back to you some way to have your questions answered.